y'all, and welcome to today's video. I'm so excited because we are going to be creating looks with the new Oden'S holiday palettes for this year. I cannot wait, but they are also going to be restocking last year's palettes, the Merry Christmas and the Christmas Eve palette. So we're also going to swatch and play with those. I wanted to create a ton of looks for y'all. I wanted to do swatches, share my thoughts and opinions. I'm so excited. Let's jump into it. Alright y'all, getting started, I want to let you know I will have the launch date, the details, everything down below in the description box, because at the time that I'm filming this, I do not know when these are going to be available, so I will put that in the description box. I'm super excited because Oden'S sent me these palettes so far in advance, so I've been able to play with these both while I'm filming and while I'm not filming, and I'm just super excited. So we have two new palettes for holiday. My affiliate code Heather will work to give you a discount on these palettes as well as last year's palettes and other things on the Oden'S site. So I will of course put that in the description box as well. But let's talk about these two new palettes. I'm excited. Let's start off with the Hey Reindeer palette. So we have this beautiful artwork on the front and we have this really cool color story inside. Let me show you a close-up and swatches because I'm really into these beautiful kind of cool toned muted blue shades. We have some beautiful muted like mauve red tones. I love that we have a beautiful pop of orange, yellow. We have neutrals and we have color in this palette. Really pretty. We are going to create looks with this one. We are going to play with it, but I always love to show you a close-up and swatches so that you can kind of see how the palette swatches out. We have a gorgeous multi-chrome in this palette, which I'm all about a little sparkle. You know, I love it. So I am really looking forward to showing you what I did with this palette. And then we also have the Snow Dream palette. So this palette has a little more neutral to it than the last palette did. We have some beautiful brown shades, we have some beautiful light shades, but then we also have like red, we have some muted greens, we have purple, really beautiful shadows. I want to show you in close-up and swatches of this one as well because we have a holographic shade in here. I am over the moon about that shadow. I love it so much. I have really enjoyed playing with this one, and I just think some of the shimmer shades in here are really special with beautiful reflex. Both of the palettes from this year I think are super duper pretty. The Snow Dream as well as the Hey Reindeer, and I really like also that these palettes are cohesive packaging wise. Like they look really fun, they fit really well, and they also fit next to last year's palettes. So we won't spend too long talking about this. This is the Christmas Eve palette and the Merry Christmas palette, but I did quickly want to show you a close-up and swatches of these as well, just so you can see. And I will also be creating a look with these two. I'm going to do a look mixing both palettes, but in the description box I will link my videos where I created looks with these palettes. So if you want to go back and watch those, you most definitely can. I love those palettes. I have already reviewed them. I put them in my last year's ranking, and I am so in love with those palettes. And I'm happy that Oden'S decided to bring them back for Christmas this year. But we'll create looks with those, and we're going to create looks with these too. I have 6 looks to share with y'all. I'm really excited about it. I hope that you enjoy. I need to stop talking because I know I have so many looks to fit in, so let's jump into it. I've put down my eyeshadow primer and we're going to start with the Hey Reindeer palette. So what I want to do first is go in with this like multi-chrome candy canes. See, it looks pink and then it looks like it shifts to this gold, like yellowy, almost green something. I don't know. I want to start with that, and then I want to go in with Reindeer, this pretty mauve-y color. Okay, so I picked up that beautiful shimmer on my brush And I sprayed my brush after I had the shadow on it. And I want to put this from lid right up here into the socket. I want to start with the shimmer, and I don't want to have any matte shade right in here, at least for now. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to just like be pressing the shadow off my brush like this, and then I'll kind of blend right here in the socket and lightly start to kind of buff that in once I feel like I have most of the shadow off my brush. Okay, then I'm taking that pretty mauve-y color called Reindeer, and I'm just going to put this in the second half of my socket. I'm going to take it down, around. I'm even going to put it on the other half of my lid so that we just have our lid and our socket going from that pretty shifty color to this matte mauve tone. Okay, I like how this is looking. It's looking very soft. If you wanted to leave the look right here, put on just a little mascara, maybe even like brown mascara, it would be so pretty and fresh. I feel like it looks very spring, but I mean, I've got to add some depth and drama, right? So I'm going to go into Snow Wish, and I am going to press this right out here on this outer corner, and I'm going to kind of wing my shadow out like this, and then I'm going to carry this right under my lower lash line. And these beautiful brushes with the yellow handle are from Singe. I will link everything that I talk about down in the description box for y'all, and I'll also try to tag some of the products here on YouTube if I'm able to. Alright, next I'm going to use the shade Greetings, and I also want to go in just a little bit to the shade Christmas Stocking. I really like the way this like bronzy shimmer looks. It looks like it has a lot of shine, so we're going to go into these two. Okay, so I want to take Christmas Stocking, and I just want to put it a little bit on the lid and kind of like in that space between where we laid down that first shifty shadow and that dark brown matte. I'm just going to press it on, and I'm not worried about fallout or anything because I will wipe it away when I'm done with my look. This shade is so pretty. Oh, I really like this. I like the pinks and the browns. Okay, now I've got that matte shade Greetings, and I'm going to use this to kind of like buff and blend where we put the dark brown just right out here. Just using a tiny bit of shadow and really just buffing that. I don't want it to be overpowering. I just want it to kind of add a little something something to the look, you know? Okay, I'm taking this shade right here. This is Christmas Ham. And I did spray my brush after I picked up the shimmer like always, and we're just going to brush that right on the inner corner for a little highlight. And then I am just going to put on liner and a lash. I'll come back, I'll show you the finished look. We'll see all the rest of the looks, and then I will give you kind of my review, wrap up thoughts at the end of the video. Alright y'all, here is the first finished look. I really like this. I think it looks sparkly and kind of soft and romantic. I really like it. I am wearing from Oden'S my Moonlight Feel highlighter in Rose Sky, my Sunlight Love blusher in Sunset Clouds, and then I'm wearing my Hella Halloween Angelica Nympvist lip in Shadow Creature and Radioactive. I will list other makeup details, whatever I can, in the description box, but I want to share with you the other looks I have, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Let's jump into it. Y'all, eyes are primed for shadow, and what I want to do is start with this green sagey color called Ornament, and then after that I'm going to go into this really beautiful warm rich brown down here, and we'll take the look from there. So I'm going to start first with the green shade. I'm going to make sure there's no creases in my primer, and we are going to put this all in the socket. I think this green is so beautiful. Even just in the pan, I think it looks really, really beautiful. Okay, I'm taking that brown shade and I'm going to put it on my lid, and then I'm also going to bring it up. I'm going to layer it on top of the green, and then I'm going to lightly buff and blend. I want these to fade nicely into one another, so I'm just going to buff and blend. Nothing too intense, just lightly blending around like this. Okay, next we're going to use Feast, this brown shade up here, and then this really pretty mint color called Snowflake. I want to use that to buff and blend, but I'm going to take Feast and I'm just going to put this on the lower lash line. I'm just going to put that right here. It's a pretty light shade, but I think it's going to be really pretty, just for a little like definition under the lashes. Okay, we're going to take that Snowflake shade now, and I'm going to lightly blend. I accidentally picked up a little too much on my brush, I could see. That's okay. And I'm just fluffing this to give us a nice kind of transition and to use it as a blending shade. Okay, next I want to use this shade right here called Tradition, and this shade called Frankincense. This one looks like it has beautiful like multicolor sparkle to it, so I want this to be kind of the star of the show, but I do want to add in a little bit of this shimmer too. I think it looks really pretty, and I think it's gonna give us a nice like deep shine. I'm gonna put that down first, and then we'll go in with Frankincense. When I pick up these shimmer shades, multi-chromes, duochrome, whatever, when I pick up metallic shimmers, I am going to spray my brush after I have the shadow on my brush and then apply. Okay, so I'm gonna put that shade on the lid, kind of right where we stopped the matte warm brown on the outer portion of my lid, and I'm just gonna keep it right there. I don't want to let it kind of overtake my lid. I'm just putting it on right there, so that we're gonna go from that frankincense shade to this beautiful shimmer to the matte outer corner. That's a really pretty shade though. It has a lot of shine, and I like that a lot. Once I have that on, I will definitely make sure I have a nice blend out here, and I'll probably go do some more blending once we get all the shimmers done. I just like to kind of bounce back and forth and blend kind of as I go, just adding shades, blending, adding shades, blending. Okay, I am really looking forward to this shade. That's beautiful. I really wanted to use this shade next to the green right there. I just think it looks so pretty. Ever since I opened this palette, I was thinking, I've got to use this, and I've got to use it with the green. That's like a holographic type shade. It has so much beautiful, intense sparkle. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That is so so pretty on the lid. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm so into this look. I'm loving the like silver with the warm, like, I don't know, like warm browns with the green. I don't know. I feel like it's all working how I want it to. I want to highlight my inner corner with the shade Mary. I think this green is going to be really, really beautiful. So I'm going to pick this up on a kind of fluffy brush, and we're going to just kind of dust this right in here. Okay, I'm going to just brush this shade on the inner corner. I think that little bit of like that cool green sparkle is going to look really nice. I like that we kept the lid, I mean not the lid, the lower lash line kind of light. I'm just going to see if I need to do any more blending. I'm going to throw on an eyeliner. I'm going to throw on a false lash, finish up my makeup, and then I will be right back to see how the look comes together. But this is going to be our finished look. I really, really like this look. I felt like I was going to like this kind of like these colors together, but seeing it on the eyes, I'm happy. I'm happy. All right, y'all, here is our finished look. I am so into it. I really, really like these tones together. I really am impressed with that shade Frankincense. So not only do we have the adorable packaging, but honestly, this shade right here, Frankincense, that we put on the lid, if you took this out of the palette, you handed me a single, and you told me this is a single shadow and it's priced at $20, $25, I would believe you. It is so beautiful. It has this beautiful reflect to it with this like multicolored sparkle to it. Just really, really beautiful. Every shade that I used performed so well. I think we only used 7 shades for this look, but I really, really like this look. Like, I think I'm gonna have to FaceTime my husband since he's at work right now, because I'm feeling the look. I am wearing my Oden'S Sunset Clouds blush and the Moon Talk highlighter. I decided to go with the highlight that was really like glowy and also had like a hint of green to it, like a green tone. I thought it would be really pretty with the eyes that we have going on. I will link the lash and lip and all of that down in the description box. And we do have more to talk about, of course, but I just can't stop this eye look. I'm really, really into this. I think everything performs so well. It just makes me so happy. But okay. I need to be done. Let's move on. We have other things to talk about. For today's look, I'm gonna prime my eyes and we're gonna play with this Snow Dream palette. We're going to go right over here and then we'll do something different over here. Okay, I'm gonna start off our look with this red shade right here. This is called Guests. That's hard to say. We're going to start with this shade and then we're going to go into Boots right up here. I think those are going to be super duper pretty on our lid. Okay, so I'm going to put that red right in our socket, but I'm going to bring the red down to the lid here, and I'm going to do the same thing right here on this inner part of my lid so that we kind of leave that center space blank. And this is just going to make like a upside down U shape right in here. After that, I'm going to take the shade Boots and I'm going to kind of buff right along the edge of that red to give us a little more of a blend. If you see my skin on my lid is a little dry, just ignore it, okay? Just ignore it. I'm having a little bit of dry skin. It's not the shadow, it's just me. Okay, we're gonna dip into this shade Sweater. This one looks super beautiful. I'm gonna pick it up on my brush and I'm gonna spray my brush with a little setting spray. Okay, looking down into my mirror, I'm gonna put this shade right in the center of that red matte. I want this just to stay in the center, and I'm gonna kind of press first, and then once I have it all pressed off my brush, I'll kind of blend, and whatever fallout I'll get, I'll just wipe away when I'm done with my look. Okay, next I want to go in with the shade Magic, this beautiful dark shimmer, and the shade Hugs. That one looks so beautiful to me. I am going to spray my shimmers with setting spray after I pick them up on my brush for both shades. Okay, I'm going to take that shade Magic, and I'm going to be very careful, but I'm going to put this right under my lower lash line. Instead of using a matte, I wanted to bring a little shimmer magic to the lower lash line. I thought that would be fun. And I'm using this angled brush so I can keep it where I want it. And then, like I said, I will just brush the fallout away when I'm completely done with my look. All right, now I'm taking the shade Hugs and I'm just popping that right there on my inner corner to brighten that area up, blend it up and around. And this look, very simple. We used 5 shades, but I like it. I feel like I could do this look super quick, be out the door. It looks very holiday, and I'm into it. Jumping over to our Hey Reindeer palette, we are going to start off with the shade Ivy, and then we're going to go in with Cider. This is like a pale blue shade, and this shade also looks really beautiful. So I'm going to prime my eyes, and we're going to do the same type of look over here, just different shades. Okay, I've got that shade Ivy, and we're going to go right in the socket. Just doing the same thing that I did with the red on the other eye, bringing it down to the lid, but leaving that center spot blank. And I'll remind you again, my lids are a bit dry. It is totally okay though, not a big deal. I'm gonna go in with that light shade Cider just to buff and blend and soften things up. Okay, for the center of the lid, we're going to go into Presence, this beautiful blue. I am going to pick it up on my brush and spray my brush with setting spray. I'm going to do that for all of my shimmers. Okay, I'm going to pop that shade right on the center of our lid. That is really beautiful. And the shimmer, whoops. Picked up a little too much on my brush, but the shimmer is going to be really pretty and smooth over where I have those dry patches. So I'm just keeping it right there to the center. And then for the lower lash line, what I want to do is go in with Wreath. And I think to highlight the inner corner, oh, we have options. We have options, don't we? What do I want to do to highlight the inner corner? Maybe just a little bit of Slay right up here. Okay, we're going to put Wreath right under the lower lashes. A beautiful shimmer. Just like this, back and forth. And then I'm going to put Slay on the inner corner. And that is going to be both of our finished looks. I'm going to see if I need to do any more blending. I'm going to throw on liner, but I'm going to skip a lash today. I'm just going to do a little liner in the waterline and some mascara. And I think that's going to be really pretty for both of these looks. A little bit more simple, and I'll be right back. All right, y'all, here are the 2 finished looks. We have kind of a fire and ice or maybe it's the holidays. Maybe we should call this like heat miser, cold miser, like maybe that's what it should be, kind of fire and ice vibes. I had fun creating these looks. I just put on mascara, and for eyeliner kind of in the waterline and on the lower lash line is the Solmon Gel Liner in the shade 014. And then I decided to do like a blush highlight hybrid, and that is the Rosette Love Solmon Sunlight Love Blusher. So this is like, it's a glowy blush, but it really works as like a blush highlight hybrid for me. I will list the eyeshadow primer and lip and all in the description box. But yeah, these looks, we just used 5 shades each. I wanted to do something a little like a little less intense while still colorful, and that's what these looks are to me. Not overly intense, at least for me, but we still have color. And I like that. I like that. I like the looks with just the mascara. Of course, I think they would be beautiful. You could throw on a dramatic false lash and make either one of these like a little more intense, kind of up the drama. But I like the way these look. I'm into it. I'm into it. I hope that you're enjoying all the looks. I'm so excited. Oden'S sent me these palettes so early, so I've really had time to play with them and create, and I wanted to, of course, film some of me creating and playing, and I hope you like our snow and fire looks. So for this look, I really want to mix both of the palettes from this year, Hey Reindeer and Snow Dream, and I think I want to do something with the brown shades, maybe a neutral type of look. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but maybe with like a little twist, a little fun. So I'm gonna prime my eyes, and we're gonna go in with Snow Wish, this deep dark brown from the Hey Reindeer palette first. Okay, so I want this to be like our deepest color. We're gonna work kind of from the darkest shade first. And I just want to see kind of how dark and dramatic. Can I get this? Oh my gosh, I accidentally just brushed my brush into a shimmer. Do you see that? Do you see? I just put sparkle on my lid. I was talking, not paying attention, and I accidentally hit the blue shade next to the brown. Listen. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. This is me having to tell myself as well that that is not what I intended to happen, but it is okay. Actually, that looks a little pretty. Do you see the brown? We all make mistakes, Heather. This is me telling myself it's fine. I'm not gonna wipe it off and start again. I just don't want to do that. So like what does Bob Ross say? What did he used to say in his videos? Like happy accidents or something. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so I've got that shade plus a little sparkle on my eye, and I even put a little sparkle here on the other eye to make up for it. I don't know, make a match. It's cool. We're gonna go in now with this shade up here called Boots. No, actually, let's go into this one. Let's go into Garland. This one is more yellowy, whereas this one up here is more peachy. So let's stick down here. I'm gonna pick this up, and I've been using like the brush before, and this brush is from Game Beauty. I will link them down below in the description box. Try to put everything I can there, but I'm just gonna go kind of back and forth, very lightly blending, nothing overly intense, just using this to kind of diffuse that darker brown and pull in this more yellow tone. Okay, I want to jump back over to Hey Reindeer, and we're going to actually use this kind of blue-gray shade up here. It's very cool toned, and I think it'll be pretty, like this blue-gray to contrast with the brown that we have up top. So I'm going to take the shade Holly, and I'm going to pick that up on my brush, and I want to keep it kind of close to the lower lash line, like this. I really like the way that looks with the brown, actually. I think that looks super cool. So I'm just going to buff it, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that deeper round shade that we started with, and I'm going to connect right there so that there's not like this line of separation between what we have going on up top and what we have going on up bottom, just right here. But I really like the way that looks on the lower lash line. That's pretty cool. Okay, for the lid, we're going back to our Snow Dream palette, and we are going to use the shade Tinsel. This looks so beautiful. Let's see. Like, you can see it's this beautiful shade, but it has different color like reflex in it. So I think it's going to be beautiful on the lid. So I'm going to pick that up on my brush. I'm going to spray my brush, and then we're going to kind of put it in this empty space that I left. All right, I'm just looking down into my mirror, and I'm going to put this on the lid, and then I'm also going to take it on top of the brown matte shade right here, just on this inner part. So it's going to kind of look a little different on top of the brown, which is going to give us some dimension. So since I started on the lid right on top of my primer and then kind of pulled it up here, it's going to act more of like a topper on top of the matte, and it's just gonna almost be a different shade. Like, see how it looks here and then it looks here? It almost looks like we have two different shadows on, which I really like. That's really a pretty color. And I'm going to kind of diffuse right there. Just adding a little bit more. Okay, let's jump back over to Hey Reindeer, and we're going to use this shade Slay. Slay. And we're going to highlight the inner corner. And that's where I'm going to leave the look. Very simple, just 5 shades, but I am going to put on a little bit of a lash. I'm going to pull this shade a little bit on top of that gray to act as a topper, that blue-gray on the lower lash line. But I'm going to see if I need to do any blending. I'm going to do liner and a lash, and I will be back. Alright y'all, here is the finished look. I really like the way that shimmer on the lid kind of transformed when it was paired with that deep brown. I think it looks almost like a silvery green, and it has this beautiful sparkle to it. I really like the look. I will list the lip that I'm wearing and other details that I can down below in the description box, but I did put on a little bit of my Salon liner in the lower waterline. This is the shade 013. And then for blush, I'm wearing my orange Sunny blush and Warm Sunshine highlighter. So that is how we finished off the look. I like this. I really like this eye look. I feel like it's a smoky eye with a twist, and I'm here for it. But of course, we have more to talk about. Alright y'all, for today's look, we're gonna mix both of our Christmas and Christmas Eve palettes from last year. So I want to start off with this shade right here, Best Wish. This is from the Merry Christmas palette. And then I want to kind of deepen things up with a shade from the Christmas Eve palette. We're going to use the shade Night Sky. But first, of course, I'm going to lay down a primer so we can keep our shadow look on throughout the day. Everything's going to be beautiful. I'm so excited to be playing with these on camera again. Alright, I've got our shade Best Wish. and we are going to press this onto the primer. This is a like pastel, very bright shade, so I don't want to over blend. I am not like being light-handed. I want to pack this right here in the front half of my socket. I'm getting it set down on top of that primer, and then once I do that, I will very lightly blend out the edges. Not all the shadow, but just lightly blend the edges. I didn't want to use a white base because I don't want it to be like that intense, but I do want to pack it on since it's such a light, beautiful, bright shade. Alright, now I've got Night Sky, and I'm going to put that in this outer part of my socket right here, and I'm bringing it down to the lid, like so. Really beautiful shades together, and I'm going to bring that down a little bit under the lower lash line. I just want to be careful not to let this shade get away from me. Okay, jumping back over to our Merry Christmas palette, we are going to use the shade Christmas Tree for the lower lash line. This shade is so incredibly beautiful. I'm going to put this right up against my lashes at first, and then once I have it kind of pressed to the lower lash line, I'm going to blend, and I'm going to let it meet in the outer corner with what we put up top. So it's going to come really low out here, and it's going to be super, super beautiful. Perfect look for today. I actually have a lot going on today. Of course, I'm going to be homeschooling most of the day. I'm up early doing my makeup before we start our school day. And then we've got some places to go tonight. And I have some errands to run when we take our lunch break. So it's going to be a busy day, and I'm very excited to be wearing this beautiful like green teal type of look. Oh, I'm really looking forward to wearing this today. But what I want to do for the lid is I want to go in with this shade right here, Elf Wish. If I turn the palette, you can kind of see like the green pink reflect in it. So we're going to use that, but that's going to go kind of all right here on the lid, and where that shimmer meets our dark matte outer corner, I want to go back to Christmas Eve. Look at this beauty. Look at this beautiful palette. And I want to pull in a little bit of Blue Star. Okay, so we're going to take that dark shimmer, and I did put down a little bit of my Karla Fix Potion to make my shimmers really pop, and I did spray my brush after I had the shimmer. I'm just pressing this right on top. Now I'll worry about blending in a minute. Right now I just want to get those shimmers kind of pressed where I want them, and then once I have all the shimmer off my brush, I will go in and blend and make sure I don't have any harsh lines. But I'm going to bring that light shimmer up pretty high. I know it looks choppy right now, but we'll blend in just a minute and make them look nice and cohesive. Alright, for the inner corner, I'm going to dip in to a tiny bit of Snow Light. And I think this is just going to give us a little bit of brightness to kind of pull the look together. Okay, I'm going to press that right there. Super beautiful. I'm loving this look. I love the different textures and finishes. I'm going to see if I need to do any blending. I'm going to throw on eyeliner and mascara, and I will be right back. Alright y'all, here is the finished look with both of the palettes from last year, the Merry Christmas and the Christmas Eve. I just threw on a half lash and some black liner. I am wearing the Lavender Dream highlighter. This is like my favorite highlighter. I think it's so beautiful. Out of all the formulas and everything that Oden'S has in this line, this one's my favorite. And I have the Warm Sun blush on. I will list other makeup details down below, but I really like this look. I'm super excited to be wearing it for the rest of my day. I think it's fun and I'm into it. I hope that you enjoy, but we do have more to talk about. So here is one last look at this one. Alright y'all, I hope that you enjoyed all the looks. Something I did want to mention that I forgot to mention earlier is the first people that buy this collection, I think just until supplies run out, will get these scarves that kind of match the palettes. I'm not sure if these are just going to be for the bundles or what, but I think these are really cute, and I like that Oden'S always does something kind of fun and special with their launch. But let me talk to you about this launch. Listen, I've already reviewed and talked about these palettes so much last year. I love these palettes, so we're not going to talk more about these. I absolutely love them. They are amazing, amazing, amazing palettes. But let's talk about this year's. I really like the color stories, especially when I'm creating looks. I feel like looking at the palette, it looks really pretty, of course, but I liked it even more as I've been playing with it over the weeks. Of course, you know, I showed you some of the looks I created, but I've been playing with this even when I'm not filming, testing it, trying it, doing different color combos. I like that we have this multi-chrome here. The mattes in here are the beautiful Oden'S formula that I love. And in both of their new palettes, we have something that I love, which is a mix of formulas. We don't just have mattes and shimmers. We have mattes, we have shimmers that are more metallic, shimmers that are a little more like flaky and texture. We have shimmers that shift and have different types of reflex to them. And I really like that. I just think that really elevates an eye look. For me, it's what I like. I like to have options. I think this color story is super duper beautiful. I like that the packaging kind of fits in the same vibe with last year's. I just think they're going to look so nice together in my collection. And then the Snow Dream palette, I also really, really like. I think this one is one people are going to love, even if you aren't into shadows that aren't brown. I feel like you could get this palette and you could kind of try something new in a way that's maybe not so scary, because this like green shade, very muted, and then we do have red, but I feel like it pairs so beautifully with the neutral tones in here. This like holographic shade I absolutely love, and again, all those different finishes and textures. If somebody stole these from me, I would be on Oden'S site, setting an alarm at launch, buying these. Of course, my videos are never here to convince you to buy anything. If you want to shop your stash, shop your stash. If you're not into makeup, thank you so much for watching. I'm happy you're here. But I do hope that my video was helpful. If you are considering picking these up, just know I love them. Had Oden'S not sent these to me, I would have purchased them myself. If they disappeared from my collection right now, I would purchase them because I need them. I really like that I can do dramatic looks, neutral looks. I like every look I've created. I think the quality is perfection. I hope you're having an amazing day. Please do subscribe. Again, if you want to see looks with last year's videos, I will link my Oden'S playlist down below in the description box. I hope whatever you are doing, you're having an amazing day. I have so many videos coming. I will see you then. Bye!